to play.
Warrior, come out and play.
Battle. And all my Spartans. Welcome everyone to another episode of the Mental Warrior Show, where every week we break down quotes from modern day warriors and entrepreneurs to help make us mentally tougher together. The goal with this show is to create an army of millions of mentally tough warriors. Because once you win the war in your mind, you win the battle for your life. Everything starts up here. Now, do you want to accomplish more in your life? Do you want to become a better version of yourself? Do you want to take your life to places you never thought existed? Then you need to practice discipline. So in this episode of the Mental Warrior Show, we're going to break down a quote from 5-time world heavyweight champion Mike Tyson and his views on discipline. Excuse me. Now, before I get into that, I just want to remind you to subscribe to the Mental Warrior newsletter, because once a week I'll be emailing out an episode. So there's a written version that you can read. There is a video version that's on YouTube, and then there's an audio version on all podcast platforms as well. So by subscribing to the newsletter, you won't ever miss an episode, and it'll give you 3 ways to consume it. Not only that, but in the newsletter, we have other tips, strategies. We have Warrior Song of the Week. We have Meme of the Week. So there's a lot of stuff in the newsletter that I think can help a lot of people, and it's the best way to consume the show and also help support the show. And lastly, I got to promote the Warrior merch. See that? We got some cool t-shirts, and you can show the world how tough you are. You can support the show, because every dollar spent on merch, we reinvest right back into the operation. So we appreciate you supporting the show. There's a link in the description for the store as well, if you want to get your Warrior merch. Now, with that all out of the way, in every episode, I'm going to break down a clip from a modern day warrior or an entrepreneur, and we're going to analyze it. So basically how this show started was I started a Instagram page called The Mental Warrior Life, where it's clips of famous people and successful people and different things that they're saying and different things that I think can help people. And I'm finding a lot of common themes from successful people. So what I decided to do was start a newsletter based on these clips. And then every episode we break down the clip, and hopefully it'll help you become mentally tougher, stronger, more successful, all the above. So that's where this show came from, is from me pulling out these clips and creating them on social media. So you could feel free to follow us on social media as well. It's that Mental Warrior Life across all platforms. There's a link in the description for that as well. So next, what I want to do is I want to actually show you the clip that we're going to dissect today. And it's of, like I said, Mike Tyson. And it's Mike Tyson's thoughts on discipline, which really blew my mind when I first heard this. So if you're listening to this, right now I'm playing a clip from Instagram. If you're watching this, I'm going to play the clip. You can see it. So let's roll the clip.
I never had any anger. The reason I fought is, you cannot accomplish a high level of professional degree if you have any emotional feelings. I could never think cautiously in this ring and be angry. I would never be successful.
So you didn't hate your opponent?
Never. It's a business. I was disciplined. And my job was to win spectacularly. Well, that basically goes back to being disciplined. Discipline is doing what you don't want to do, but do it like you love it.
So that last part of the clip is really the best part of what he said, and what I really want to go into, where he says discipline is doing what you don't want to do, but do it like you love it. And that's really the best example and explanation of discipline that I've ever heard, because that's exactly what it is. It's overcoming the feelings, overcoming your, I need motivation. It's overcoming whatever, to just do it and get it done, and do it every day. Because you can't rely on motivation. You can't rely on willpower. You certainly can't rely on your feelings, because you think Mike felt like training every day? No. I was watching a clip of Olympic wrestler and WWE wrestler, gold medalist Kurt Angle. And he talked about he trained 10 hours a day, 6 days a week for years to win the Olympic gold. Now, do you think there was days where Kurt didn't feel like training? You think Mike had days where he didn't feel like training? I guarantee you they did. But because they had discipline, it allowed them to push through and get it done. And discipline is really the vehicle of success that'll get you to where you want to go. So, Mike Tyson is not someone you want to mess with, but he's certainly someone that we could learn from. The other part of the clip that I loved is the beginning where Mike says, "You cannot accomplish a high level of professional degree if you have any emotional feelings." Excuse me. "I could never think cautiously in the ring and be angry. I would never be successful. I was disciplined and it was my job to win." If you want to become a champion in your life or whatever you're doing, you have to practice discipline. And Mike's quote is great because he talks about removing the feelings. Because feelings, believe it or not, can hold you back. They can get you in trouble. Now, they're natural. We're going to feel. You can't suppress them, and you shouldn't. Feelings are a great thing. You can feel good. You can feel bad. However, we can't let our feelings and our emotions control us. That's also why willpower and motivation and things like that don't work, because it's like feelings, but in a good way. Because feelings fade, but discipline doesn't. So, what I want to talk about really is what discipline is and how to build discipline. I think once we understand what it is, it'll help us develop it, because you can develop it. It's not easy. It takes work, but it's definitely worth it. And it gets better the more you practice it. So we need discipline because success is not sexy. Success is doing the same repetition every day. Success is all about getting your reps in and being consistent, putting in the focus, the effort, having the belief, and doing it every single day, whether you feel like it or not. Which goes back to Mike's quote was doing something you don't like doing, but doing it like you love it. So that's what he means. He means getting in those reps every day and practicing every day, because the more you do it, the easier it becomes. And not only that, time is passing by. Hopefully we're luckily you'll wake up to tomorrow and the next day, the day after that. And hopefully you live a long life, but time's going to pass either way. So if there's something you really want, you might as well put in the effort, because right now I'm recording this on Thursday. God willing, I wake up tomorrow, it's Friday. The next day's coming, whether I wanted to or not. Time is passing by. So you got to get it done today. If you have a goal or something you want to accomplish, you got to put in the work every day, because success comes from blocking out the noise and the distractions and getting in your reps every single day, because it's like nothing happens and everything happens all at once. You might put in 30 days of effort and time just passes by. And before you know it, you lost 20 pounds. Before you know it, you got a new job. Before you know it, you're making more money. So discipline helps you with all this. And that's really what discipline is. Um, so next I want to talk about, how to build discipline, because let's be honest, building discipline and practicing discipline is not easy. But anything that's easy is not worth having. Anything that's we want, you have to work for. That's just a fact of life. There's no way around it. It's easy to sit around on the couch eating Cheetos and Doritos and ice cream. Trust me, I've done it. It's harder to go to the gym every day and put in the effort, but the reward for going to the gym is greater than the reward of sitting on the couch doing nothing, because there is no reward for doing nothing. And so discipline helps you do the hard stuff. So how do we build discipline? It's through building momentum slowly and surely, to help you build a belief in yourself that you can stick with it and you can do it. Because I think we all start something and then we fall off and we beat ourselves up. We say, screw it. I'm never going to do this. I can't stick with things. I can't do this. I can't do that. Blah, blah, blah. Cop out, cop out. I've been there, so I can speak to it. Some people think my message is a little rough, but this is all stuff that I've been through. So I can talk like this. I'm really just talking to myself, honestly. Hopefully people can relate, which I know they can. But giving up and copping out and feeling bad and beating yourself up, that's all just a cop out to run from the hard work. But the hard work is easier through discipline. So momentum is really the key. So the way to build discipline and instill it in yourself is to slowly but surely build up the discipline. So you don't want to overwhelm yourself and get ahead of yourself. What you want to do is first find something simple and easy that you can do every day for maybe 30 minutes to an hour. Pick one thing that you can do every day. Just focus on that one thing. Maybe it's going for a walk every day. Maybe it's eating certain types of food. Maybe it's doing push-ups. Maybe it's going to the gym. If you're learning a new skill, maybe it's practicing it. Maybe it's reading more, whatever it is. Just find something simple, something you know that you can do, something that's sustainable that you'll stick with. Just pick that one thing and then give yourself 30 days to do it. Now, I read a great thing from Jerry Seinfeld, who inspired this video as well. He was always practicing writing his comedy. So what he did was he bought a big wall calendar, 30-day calendar, and every day that he would practice writing, he would put a big X over the day on his calendar. And then after a few days, after 3 days, he sees three X's. After 7 days, he sees seven X's. And that instills the confidence in him and built up the momentum for him to keep going. He's keeping track. He's staying focused. He's staying disciplined. He's practicing discipline. Then before you know it, 14 days pass by. There's 14 X's in there. Before you know it, 30 days pass by and there's X's on all 30 days. Do you know how much confidence that will build up in you, and how much momentum and how much discipline it'll instill in you, that you'll see, hey, I can do this. I can stick with this. I am being disciplined. Not only that, you'll see how much progress you made. You'll feel so much better about yourself. So that's what you need to do, is find something that you can stick with it and get a calendar, use your phone. I personally, I use Google Excel sheets. So I track a lot of things in there. So you can do that. Now, the biggest thing is make this commitment for 30 days. However, if you miss some days, don't beat yourself up, because chances are you probably will miss some days. Maybe you go strong the first 7 days and then you fall off for 3 or 4 days. That's probably going to happen. That's part of the journey. Part of this is falling down, getting back up, having the discipline to get back on track. So don't kill yourself. Don't beat yourself up. All you do is you just get back on it, get back up. That's really what it's all about. It's getting back on top of things. So if you fall off, that's fine. That's going to happen. You should prepare for that. Honestly, you should expect for that. But when it happens, you regroup and you say, okay, I made it this far. Let me get back on track. Then at the end of the 30 days, you can look back and see what you did, all the progress you made, you reevaluate, then you do it again. Then you'll be on, 30 through day 31 through 60. And you do the same thing over again. And then after the 60 days, you'll look back and you'll see what you did, and so on and so forth. So by building up this momentum and this belief in yourself, it'll make it easier for you to become more disciplined. Once you see the results, once you see the effort and work you put in, you'll feel better about yourself. It takes a little bit of consistency every day to build up your discipline. Your momentum will push you forward and show you who you really are and what you're truly capable of. Because that's what this show, The Mental Warrior, that's what the brand Mental Warrior is all about. It's about creating an army of millions of strong mental warriors. And the way to become mentally tougher is to develop and instill and practice discipline. So that's why I made this video, to help us all become more disciplined, to become a mental warrior. Because when you win the war in your mind, you win the battle for your life. And a little bit of discipline can go a long way. So that's it for today. Your homework is to set up an Excel sheet, get a wall calendar, use your phone, whatever it is, develop a system, figure out what you want to practice and do for the next 30 days, and start tomorrow and track yourself and push yourself, because you can do it. We all can do it. Sometimes we don't know what we don't know. We need to learn how to do it. With that being said, that's the end of this episode. I appreciate you, whether you're watching it, reading it, or listening to it. Don't forget, subscribe to the Mental Warrior newsletter. You'll get this in your email once a week. I appreciate you watching and sharing it. If you have any thoughts or feedback, feel free to reach out. Share it with a friend if you can, because we're all in this together, and we're all in this mental warrior army together. And the more that we get, the stronger we become, the better the world becomes. And that's what it's all about. That being said, Mental Warriors out.
warrior.